Good morning to you. Daybreak rolls on. Morning, Spencer.
Good morning.
We've got two great guests in studio to help us focus on Shelton this morning, brought to you by our great friends at our community credit union. And no better way, just throwing people right into the fire. Gregory, Public Works Director, is bringing in the new communications specialist for the city of Shelton, Mary Ricker. Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Why don't you move that microphone just a little closer to you there? No, there we go. It's nice to meet you. And where do you come from?
I am coming from Fort Collins, Colorado.
All right, well, welcome here. And second day, so starting your second day today and long day yesterday as it was the Spotlight Shelton. Before we get onto some of the upcoming projects, Craig, how was the event last night? Talk to me about what some of the department heads reported out to everybody.
It was fantastic. We just really wanted to highlight kind of all of the good things that had gone on in 2019. So far with projects and development and things like that. And it was a well-attended event. Good to have the folks out. And then really it was a pretty short presentation and then really just wanted to open ourselves up to just questions and really having the public getting to know us. Mm-hmm. So it was a really good event and really well-attended.
Since you're Public Works and you're here, let's kind of look back at this year that was. It has been quite the year. As one of the first memories that pops into my head, all the work that you're doing on Olympic Highway South there, and then we had the major weather events and moved in, through the conclusion of the roundabout on First, and it's been a busy year for you guys.
It has been a very busy year, and it was interesting to put together the Spotlight Shelton presentation, at least for Public Works, and the things that we have accomplished and the grant dollars that have come from that. We pointed out last night that in 2018 we had brought in about $11 million worth of grant funds, which is just kind of crazy when you think about it, and another little over $2.5 million for next year. Mm-hmm. So it's good to keep moving forward.
That's great.
And keep things going.
That's great.
In the roundabout, everyone survived it. That's great.
No, you know,
everyone was so worried about it.
We got to figure out what to complain about next.
Yes.
Gee, Merry Christmas. It seems like it's every time I go through it, people are respectful and they're starting to get it. And
Yeah, we've had no issue with trucks, and everything seems to be moving right through it. So
it's a good-looking one for sure, and it makes that whole road look just beautiful moving up there. Let's see, what else is going on? Western Gateway, tell me about this.
So next Wednesday night, the next project coming. No rest, I guess, for everybody, and another project coming, Railroad Avenue from 7th out to the city limits. Likely construction starting sometime next spring. It's under design right now, and really next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock down at the Civic Center, we really want to have the public in to help us with those design elements. We've just started 10% design, and we really want to hear from the public and the business owners. What do you want to see out there in that project?
So if I'm thinking about this in my mind's eye here at 7th and Railroad, kind of where Macomb is, there's that open lot. And then Correct. As you move out to the city, you got, 2-3 blocks of some businesses. And then it turns into kind of a residential area. Sidewalks, I'm thinking, maybe if it's what people are asking for.
We're thinking it's going to look a lot like Downtown Connector. We've had such great feedback with the multimodal use and walkability of Downtown Connector that we're really thinking that that's kind of the direction that the public has really wanted us to go in, with new ADA ramps, sidewalks, new pavement, illumination, kind of all those aspects of complete streets, and that's kind of what we've heard, and that's really what we're starting out, at least modeling this one after also.
When you get to where the railroad tracks are, what are your availabilities there? Is that used at all? I mean, are there ever trains on there anymore?
Not right now.
Okay.
We have had some communication with Simpson representation about what we're going to do with that, because it is a very difficult design element, not only for the roadway, but more for ADA compliance with the sidewalks and things like that. So we're working with them, and we're trying to come up with some sort of resolution to that issue as we move through design. So,
because I've seen another, and maybe around here too, that you can fill in that center part of a train track to to allow for rolling over if you're on a wheelchair or something to go straight across, because otherwise you go and then you're down and then you're back up and out. Is that right?
I think ultimately, yes, that is possible. But ultimately, I think if there aren't going to be trains, moving on those tracks or other functions of it, we'd really like to just get it out of there so we don't have to design around it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of yet to be seen. I know Jeff Knighton, our city manager, is working on that with Simpson, and we'll see where that goes. Kind of one of those things that's up in the air right now, but we are starting to design around it, so we'll see how that ends up.
WashDOT and the county are doing some major work at the city center exit there, and is there talk with City of Shelton and the county on ever extending any sort of, I guess, in a sense, beautification all the way down to the city center exit as it gets from the city limits and moves into the county? Is there going to ever be work there, you think?
We're still working with the county. We would love to expand that project. Right now, it's only slated to go to the city limits, which is out around Pacific Court. So about halfway out to 101. I think everybody involved would really like to see that project go all the way to 101 and have a real gateway type project. We have been talking with the county about that, and they have been open to the idea. So we'll continue to work through that as we continue to design this. It's a fairly easy design from the city limits out to 101. So we'll continue to work with them, and we'll see where that ends up as far as funding goes and what we can get accomplished. But right now it is only slated to the city limits, but we'll continue to work with the county and see if we can't strike a deal to get it all the way out to 101.
Mary, did you know about Shelton before you applied for the job here?
I knew about the general area. I have some good friends from high school who live in Olympia, actually. I hadn't spent a ton of time. I had never actually been in Washington before applying for the job, so it's been a whirlwind first few days, but I've been loving it.
I bet. Well, you've come into town in a nice time. It's cold in the mornings, but I can't imagine it's much different than Fort Collins. Pretty chilly out there at times.
People keep describing it to me that the weather is so unusual, but it's very much what I'm used to.
Oh, well, perfect.
I'm curious to see what the normal is here, because so far so good.
So far so good. Well,
everybody just laughs.
Yeah, we can hope for a nice November to kind of ease you into things. It was nice to meet you, and I'm sure we'll see you more and more now as you get acclimated to the area. Craig, good to see you.
Thank you so much.
And the Focus on Shelton is brought to you by our great folks at our community credit union.